Supreetha. Welcome to my math class. So in the previous video lectures on limit, what did we study? So in the first video, we studied about the concept of limits. Yes, we studied the definition, algebra on limits, and then left hand and right hand limit when they are equal, we said that limit exists. Yes. So in the second video lecture, we studied about sandwich theorem. Yes, what did we prove in sandwich theorem? We said that cos x is less than sin x divided by x. This is less than 1. Yes, for 0 less than x less than pi by 2. Agree? So now let me take limit here. Yes, limit x tending to 0 cos x. Okay, this is less than limit x tending to 0 sin x divided by x. This is less than limit x tending to 0 1. So what is limit x tending to 0 cos x? It is 1, right? Okay, let me take the graph of cos x. The graph of cos x looks something like this. X-axis and y-axis. Yes. So it starts from -1. Okay. It starts from -1. Okay. Yes, it starts from -1. Touches at 1 and it goes something like this, right? So for cos 0 we have the value 1, right? So that is why I've written it as 1 over here. That is limit x tending to 0 cos x is 1. Can I? Okay, so here I get 0 by 0 form. Right, so I cannot do anything over here. Okay, let me keep it as it is. So this is sin x divided by x and this is less than 1. So you see we've arrived at a formula, I can say, that is as limit x tends to 0 sin x divided by x, this is equal to 1. Yes. This is something really important. Okay, let us solve some problems based on this formula. Okay, yes. So let me write down the first problem. Okay, that is limit x tends to 0 sin 4x divided by sin 2x is equal to, yes, we have to find what is this. Okay, so what was that formula we just found? That was limit x tending to 0 sin x divided by x is equal to, was it 1? Yes, it was 1. So basically it does like x can have any coefficients. Okay, I can have 4x divided by 4x over here, then even that would be equal to 1. Yes. So now what can I do here? Let me simplify this. What if I take directly sin 0? Sin 0 is 0, right? Again over here sin 0. So I would get 0 by 0 form, which is an indeterminate form, which we shouldn't get. When we get 0 by 0 form, we should try solving it more. Yes. So let me try solving it. I'll divide this by 4x and multiply this with 4x. Yes. Again, I'll do the same thing in the denominator. Okay. 2x divided by 2x. Yes. Into 2x. Yes. So now this part becomes 1 from this formula. Okay, and even this part becomes 1 from the same formula. Yes, so I have limit over here, limit x tending to 0. Okay, so that becomes z. So what remains? I have 4x divided by 2x. What would I get? I would get 2. Yes, so moving on, the next problem would be limit x tending to 0 sine ax divided by bx. How would you solve this? So let me do the same thing. Yes, I'll divide this by ax. Okay, only the numerator, and the denominator remains same, and I'll multiply this ax. So now again this part becomes 1. Yes, I have limit x tends to 0 over here. Yes, so what would I get? Limit x tending to 0 ax divided by bx, which is equal to a divided by b, because x and x gets cancelled and we are left with a divided by b. Yes, so moving on, let me write the third question, that is limit x tending to pi, yes, sine pi minus x divided by pi into pi minus x. Okay, so now you see in the formula we have x tending to 0. Right, here is the formula. Yes, x tending to 0. But in this question we have x tending to pi. Can I directly substitute sine pi minus x divided by pi minus x is 1? No, right? I'd have to convert this to 0. How would I do that? Let me use substitution method. Okay, let me take, for example, t is equal to x minus pi or pi minus x. Yes. Okay, so t is equal to pi minus x. Yes. So since x tends to pi, t would tend to pi minus pi. Okay, in the place of x, I'm substituting pi, which is equal to 0. Right. So now let me write limit t tending to 0. In the place of pi minus x, I would write t divided by pi would remain same. Yes. Into pi minus x is t. Yes. So now we have, okay, we have sine t divided by t, right? So this is 1. Yes. And pi is a constant. It is free of the term t. So I can directly write the answer as 1 divided by pi. Okay. Yes. So now the next question is, that is the fourth one. Yes. We have limit x tending to 0. Yes. Sine ax plus bx divided by ax plus sine bx. Okay, so they are saying a, b and a plus b, all these three are not equal to 0. Okay, now how do you solve this? From algebra of limits, we know that I can write this as limit x tending to 0 sine ax, yes, plus bx, okay, divided by limit x tending to 0 ax plus sine bx. Right? Again, I can even do this, right? X tending to 0, sine ax plus limit x tending to 0, bx, whole thing divided by limit x tending to 0, ax plus limit x tending to 0, sine bx. Right? So now you see, what if I substitute x as 0? I would get sine 0 plus 0 divided by 0 plus 0, which is 0 by 0 form. What do I do now? So here, let me write, or let me multiply and divide ax in the numerator, that is sine ax divided by ax into ax. Okay, and the remaining term would be the same. Yes, limit x tending to 0, bx. Okay, what else? Divided by limit x tending to 0 would remain same, that is ax, and then here let me multiply and divide by bx. Okay, sine bx divided by bx into bx. Okay, so now what is the value of this term? Yes, again we've got that formula. So the value of this is 1, and the value of sine bx divided by bx is again 1, right? So I can write ax, right? Limit x tending to 0. Yes, so this is 0. X tending to 0, ax. I still have x term over here. Yes, limit x tending to 0, bx, whole thing divided by limit x tending to 0, ax plus limit x tending to 0, bx. I can take out x common. Yes, I can write this as a plus b, limit x tending to 0, x divided by a plus b, limit x tending to 0, x. Yes, the numerator and denominator are same. It gets cancelled. So your final answer is 1. Okay. So now next one, let me solve a question from the JEE book. Okay. Fifth one, right? So the fifth one is, they are saying f of x is equal to x into sine of 1 by x, yes, plus sine of 1 by x square. Okay, at x not equal to 0, and this is 0 when x is equal to 0. Yes, the options they have given is 0, yes, b is minus half, c is 1, and d is none of the above. Okay, so they're asking us to find the limit as x tends to infinity. Yes, let me take the solution. Okay, so as limit, let us see what happens to the first term. Yes, as limit x tends to infinity, x into sine of 1 divided by x plus sine 1 divided by x square. Yes, I can write it as limit x tends to infinity. Yes, x sine of 1 divided by x plus x sine 1 divided by x square. Okay, can I write it as, okay, this is infinity, right? I have here x sine of 1 divided by x. I can write it as sine 1 divided by x divided by 1 divided by x. Agree? If I take this to the numerator, that is if I find the reciprocal of it, I would get back this term. Yes? Plus, okay, now first let me multiply and divide by x. Why am I doing it? So you see, if I take x to the denominator, I would get 1 divided by x, right? But here I have x square, right? So I would want, yes, I would want in the denominator 1 divided by x square, right? That is why first I multiplied and divided it with x. Okay. So now you see we have limit x tending to infinity. But the formula is for x tending to 0. Yes? Now let me do the substitution method. Let me take the substitution method. I am substituting, say, t as 1 divided by x. So now what happens if x is tending to infinity? Yes? T is equal to 1 divided by infinity, which is 0. Yes? Now, so I would get limit t tending to 0. Yes? Sine t divided by t plus sine, what is, if t is equal to 1 by x, what is 1 by x square? Or I can write it as 1 by x the whole square, right? That would be t square. Agree? Yes. So I would get here sine t square divided by t square, and 1 divided by x was t. Right? So now I can take the limit from the algebra of limit. I can take the limit to both the terms. Yes, if I take the limit to this term, it would be 1. Agree? If I take it to this term, I would get 1 into limit of t is what? 0, right? So what is the answer? The answer is 1. So in which option do we have 1? C, right? So C is the correct answer. Yes, so what did we study in today's class? From the sandwich theorem. For the sandwich theorem, we applied the limit, that is limit x tending to 0, and we arrived at a form of limit, that is limit x tending to 0, sin x divided by x is equal to 1. And then we saw different types of problems where when x tends to 0, when they have given directly x tends to 0, all you have to do is make sure that you get this sign of x term in the denominator so that you can replace it with 1. Yes. What if they have given x tends to some other term other than 0? You use substitution method, try and make it to 0, make sure that t tends to 0, then you reduce it to that form, that is sin x divided by x, substitute it as 1, and then you would arrive at the answer. Yes? So here we did algebra on limits. Yes, this was totally about algebra on limits. So we took the limit to the numerator, denominator, and then we did what we did in the previous problems, that is we reduced it to sin ax divided by ax form. Yes, and finally we arrived at the answer. Yes. So in the final one, that is the JEE question, we took x not equal to 0 term. Yes. So after some simplifications, they had asked us to find as limit x tends to infinity. So we use substitution method and we solved this. Yes, the answer was option C. Okay. So that is it for today. Thank you.